Hey guys, welcome back to Planet Tyro. I'm your host Donald Wonder, and it's that time again, documentary of the month. And this was the easiest, the easiest to pick, because unless you've been living under a rock, and unless you don't have Netflix, the world is becoming completely engulfed with this one TV documentary series called Making a Murderer, which is I think this is Netflix's first documentary that they've helped produce or helped promote or whatever. It's getting a lot of notoriety, not only because it's like a Netflix original documentary, but because the case itself is very interesting and making super waves. It's causing a lot of contention, a lot of publicity. And guys, if you don't know what this is about, this story is about a man named Stephen Avery. Stephen Avery, I'm not going to be very precise. Guys, just for the record, I'm doing this right after watching the show. I didn't want to script anything. I just wanted to give you my raw thoughts. Stephen Avery was a man who was locked up in prison for about 18 years for sexually assaulting a woman in the mid-80s. And you know what? He was falsely accused. In the 2000s, DNA evidence exonerated him. They found him not guilty, and he was going to sue the court system in that county. And basically, a couple years later, he got charged again for murdering a woman. And that is a recent case, and that case is even going on to this day. So basically, this man who was jailed wrongly the first time, again, he gets jailed again by the same county, and it's like a conspiracy. That's what it seems like. But then again, did he really do it? Because a lot of the facts in this second murder case is different than the rape case that he was, mishandled for. So just watching the trailer, just the plot alone, I was riveted. I'm like, I've got to see how this goes. Guys, this isn't a spoiler, but I just want to say this story is still ongoing. 10 episodes for a documentary, I thought was a bit much. I thought to myself, 10 episodes for a documentary? Usually documentaries are like a movie length, maybe sometimes a two-parter, but 10 episodes? I thought to myself, does this really need to be 10 episodes? Yes. No, it's not even yes. It's so interesting. As I was watching it, this is something that, this is like a 30, 40-year-old case situation. This guy's life has been, I want to say destroyed, but most of his life has been destroyed. What he's currently being convicted of, that's a different story, but all I can give you is my thoughts on it. This, when you look at it, let me look at it from a perspective of someone who's watching it and someone like a public. I'm just a person of the public. Forget about me watching this as a movie. The situation is very interesting. In terms of crime, in terms of court, this guy was jailed for something he didn't do for 18 years. And the way he was jailed, he was completely railroaded, and only DNA evidence exonerated him. And the way he was gonna take these people to court, and then he gets done again. Obviously, they find all this evidence to say that he's murdered this other younger woman. And the thing is, watching the story, I thought to myself, this is very interesting. Is it a conspiracy by the police? Is he did the I think the reason why it's called Making a Murderer is because did the government destroy this guy's humanity and make him into the murderer for the second crime they've got him into? I think that's why they call him Making a Murderer. And guys, let me just say something, man. Like I said, first coming into it, I thought to myself, this is too long. 10 episodes. Is this just going to be dragged out? I want to give credit to the director and the writer of this series. It's two women, actually. Let me get their names. Laura Riccardi and Moira Damos. These two women have been tracking the case for 10 years, and they've been logging it on video. And as I was watching the series, I thought to myself, what gave them the foresight to want to record this? Because they've been following the case pretty consistently. Not the first case, but this most recent one. But they did go back and cover the first thing he was accused of, the false rape thing. But the way the 10 episodes are spread, the first 2 episodes is like a simple documentary. You just get into it. Then the next 6 episodes are more of what's going on recently with the second case. And the last 2 episodes, to me, is like an epilogue leading on to the situation today. And for that 10 episodes, I thought it was perfect. When it ended, I thought to myself, I'm so annoyed that this story isn't over. I thought to myself, why are these guys making this documentary when the story isn't over? But to be honest with you, what you would think this is about the man and his crimes. But to me, this documentary is more about the justice system and how it can fail and the procedural that it goes through. This is the main character. Stephen Avery, he's the victim or the suspect, but the law and watching how they go through the process and watching how it failed him the first time and how they're doing it a second time is the most interesting aspect. And watching 10 episodes of this breakdown, the first time you thought, oh, it's the 80s, man. You know, they didn't have the technology. But then watching how they go through this second time, making similar mistakes. And let me just say this for the record. I didn't want to get into spoilers on my opinion on the matter. Because when this series is over, you don't know if Stephen Avery did it. You do not know if he murdered this girl. My personal opinion, he could have. You know, but he could have. That's my own personal opinion. I'm not sure if he did. I'm leaning towards the side that he didn't. But there's some evidence there that leads me, you know, I'm kind of 60-40. That's where I'm at now. Now, talking about how it was filmed, the criticism I have for the documentary is it's shot in a kind of a biased way for Stephen Avery. It's shot in a way where he's the victim completely. And I don't, you know, we want to be blind when we're looking at evidence and stuff like that. Now, the writers and the directors have said the reason why they shot it like this is because when you watch the documentary, without spoiling it, the way the media portrayed him like an outright murderer when so much of it is absolute bullshit, this documentary kind of balances the field of what was happening before. Because honestly, now the effects this documentary is having now is just getting people interested in the case, is getting people to want a retrial. I want a retrial because honestly, the way the trial was handled was absolutely fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. Whether he's guilty or not, even watching the trial, when you're watching this documentary, they show you the mistakes that are overlooked. And obviously the other side doesn't get to see that, but it's just so painful to watch again. And I really do want a retrial just so it can be done fairly. So they did, to me, the film directors were a little bit biased for Stephen Avery, but it's not that they lied. And some of the things they did cut out for the prosecution is not in the documentary. I did some research. But guys, you know what? I could ramble on and on about this. But the thing I like about the documentary is that it's a talking point for today. The case is still going on today. It's a very good look at the law, not just America. I know it's an American case, but I think this is a good human story about the law and about crime and about people and just about the justice system. And it is so compelling. If you look, it's got a 9 point whatever on IMDb. It's a real life case. So I'm not watching this as just entertainment. As a human being, I was compelled by this. This is absolutely phenomenal. From a filmmaking standpoint, it's not spectacular the way they shot it, but the way they edited it was great. They edited it very, very well. A lot of facts. Again, a little bit on the bias side, but I guess they said it was intentional because they're trying to balance the scales. Because when you watch it to see how it was portrayed against Avery in real life, I can understand why they did it this way. And it might not be completely fair in a sense, but I'm making my own judgment. And like I said, I still believed it could be here or there in the case of whether he done it or not. But guys, this is getting critical acclaim across the board. I would love to have a discussion to get into spoilers about it, but we're not going to do that here. This is a fantastic documentary series. I'm totally riveted. I'll be following the story. I definitely want to see if we can get more information about the case, because the woman who died, obviously I feel horrible for her and her family, and whoever, if there's someone out there that did this and's gotten away with it, I want justice to be done. I'm even getting worked up thinking about it. But guys, everyone's seen this documentary. This was the easy pick for documentary of the month. And if I had to give it a rating to high first class, and this is going to be continued. As it's updated, I can foresee them doing more. And I don't know if the case is going to be picked up again. I don't know if Stephen Avery's how this is going to proceed. Because right now things are at a very bad standstill. But in terms of a documentary, I think this TV series excels at being a good talking point of the public, of the law, of what's happening today. And even though it doesn't end per se, this is something most people should see. Even if you watch just the first 2 episodes, this is something to see. And you know what? I do want to say, the last 2 documentaries I saw of this flavor about unjust law with that Western Memphis and Letters to Zachary, these 2 right here, this is up there with those 2 as very hard to watch procedurals about the crime system. And you know, life is fucked up, man. You know, it's a great documentary. I can go on and on, but I really like this. Everyone's loving it, everyone's talking about it, and it was a very easy pick for me to watch. And you know, I would say check it out. I know documentaries aren't for everybody, guys, but I really liked it. I thought this was fantastic, and I'll be keeping up with the story. That's all I got to say. And you know what? I'll also put a link in the or YouTube card so you can check out some feedback from, because there's a discussion online about it. I'm going to put some links to my favorite discussions, so check out the description or check the YouTube card for some discussions I found online about this. And I know Reddit have their theories and all that, but you know what? If you watch the documentary, let me know what you think. What do you think of Stephen Avery? What do you think of the case? What do you think of the documentary? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And if there's a follow-up to this documentary, definitely I will be watching it, and then I'll let you guys know. But anyway, that's going to be it here for Planet Tyro, the January documentary, first documentary of 2016. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you want more content to your YouTube feed, and hit the annotations on the right to all the other stuff we do. And until then, I'll see you later. Take care. Peace out.